My first one was Michelle, and like I mentioned, she interviewed me for a really long time, and I didn't understand why. And then she called me, and she kept blowing up my phone and was like, I want to hire you, but I can't hire you. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, first of all, there's typos, right? And you speak Spanish. Kind of given my upbringing and my background, I didn't see Spanish as being like an asset, especially in academic spaces. And so when she told me to put that on my resume, that was the beginning of me reframing who I was and really looking at what I brought to the table and being more comfortable in academic space, because that in some way allowed me to bring part of who I am.
Thinking about like my first conference experience, I remember going up there and like it felt like I was presenting in front of like 100 people. But I was so nervous, and thinking about it now, you know, I went through various conferences, presentations, and now I'm like presenting in front of multiple people.
I would say there was a lot of discussions that happened right around this table, actually, in this very room. I think those moments are really salient in my memory. Just having a space like Creal, you don't really have that a lot of other places on campus. And so being able to come in here and decompress and talk about things in a space where that was okay, so many of those conversations I still remember today.
I got to go to South Africa for 7 days and do this evaluation. And it was such a memorable and meaningful experience for me, in that not only did I get to travel abroad to do an evaluation, but that I felt that Dr. P was validating my experience as a researcher by giving me an opportunity to do something as incredible as going to South Africa to do a research project. And we turned that evaluation into a publication that was later published in a journal of, I think, South African Student Affairs. And so it was this incredible, like, full circle experience that validated me as a researcher, gave me the opportunity to go abroad, and then turned into a published article in a scholarly journal.
Man, there are so many. Well, I can't think of any one thing, but what I can say is they all revolve around, all of my thoughts, all of my memories about Creal and working with Dr. P and students all revolve around seeing a student realize how student-centric she was in the way she worked. I mean, Creal has its own missions and its own values and its own goals, and you know, of course, Dr. P is always pushing those forward, but she never does so at the expense of students. First and foremost, she wants to see the students successful. And when I see students realize that about Dr. P's perspective, those are the moments that I try and remember.
Creal created a culture of research that we didn't necessarily have. They helped us create it specifically for the doctoral program, so I think we're indebted to Creal for that. They've also really helped us live our mission. And when I say that, I'm talking about community engagement. And whether you're talking about Maywood or whether you're talking about Gear Up or community college engagement, they've really helped us to ensure that we're engaged with the community at all times and we're giving back to the community.
It provided a great place for faculty to come get support with the research that they were doing. It provided a place for new faculty to come and get involved in research that was already ongoing. And it brought a very interdisciplinary community of students where we had not only students who were going into the field of education, but students who wanted to go into business or science or psychology as well. So it increased the interdisciplinary nature of our college.
I think Creal's role expands beyond the College of Ed. It of course impacts what teachers hear when they observe the research component that students do here. It's very encouraging for the College of Ed students to see that students are conducting research just like professors. They're very knowledgeable about how to interpret data and how to do analysis. But beyond just the College of Ed, Creal is really a model for our campus for diversity. Students come from all backgrounds and mesh well here and learn. You find a home in Creal where you can keep your identity intact while you're learning how to function in the academic setting.
I would say Creal prepared me from the jump because it puts you in positions where you are uncomfortable, but not to hurt you, but in order to stretch you and help you grow, not only as an individual, but as a professional.
In a Creal, like graduate assistant, it really prepares you to think 5 and sometimes 10 years in advance of like where departments were thinking, because this place is a really forward-thinking place. It really helps you learn how to bring your true self into the workplace.
CREAL was like the furthest thing from my mind when I thought I was going to go into grad school, but it's one of the things that has made the greatest impact, I think, on my career trajectory. So I really think that it's just preparing me for opportunities for growth in myself, growth in education, growth in the department I'm in, and, using that data to be that guiding point.
Definitely, when I came here, the community college system was kind of different in regard with data, so I wasn't familiar with the data here, but I was already familiar with all of the evaluation, all of the research stuff. I was leader of different projects, so it gives me kind of confidence to work with other people and guide them through or train them. So that leadership position gave me a lot of confidence and prepared me for the job that it was really kind of my passion job, to working with data, and the data is related to the student.
Well, it was research back in the day, and so I still even put that on my CV today, even 10 years later. I've had a lot of research experience since then, but that was my first research experience, really understanding how to do interviews, how to frame research projects, and most importantly, what kind of impact research could have on policymakers, but just in the lives of students. That was my first dive into it, and yeah, I'm very thankful for that experience.